Hi everyone, Marla Mervis-Hartmann here. Welcome to my living room. Today we're going to talk about pleasure and self-talk. We're going to talk about, are you beating yourself up? Are you talking negative to yourself? Are you thinking you're supposed to look a certain way? That your body's supposed to be a certain way? That you're supposed to be eating your food a certain way? That you're supposed to, at this point in your life, hey Carrie, hi Renee, at this point in your life, are you supposed to be so much further along? Are you beating yourself up for the age you are right now? Like, are you beating yourself up right now? Because we're going to talk about how we can stop doing this. And I have a lot to say about it. So I'm going to do my best to, um, to speed it up and talk about this because, quite honestly, we can be doing all the things right. And I talk about food and I talk about body, but I really invite anyone who's watching this to, if I'm talking about body and food and that's not your thing and you beat yourself up about other things, just fill in the blank, change it for you, make it personal for you. If we're doing everything right and we're taking all the right steps and we're still beating ourselves up and we're constantly finding fault in ourselves, we're really not living. We're not living the present. We're not living in our body. We don't have the frequency of acceptance and love in our being and around us. We are depriving ourselves of the life that we could be having because of what is happening inside of our head and because of how we're talking. If you understand anything that I'm saying, please give me some likes, please give me some hell yes, please give me some love so I know that you're understanding what I'm talking about. Because these little voices inside of our head can take over and can really the negative parts of our head can really ruin our whole day if we don't have some tools on what we can do to shift that. And the first thing that we can do is acknowledge that we are having all these negative self-talk, that we are beating ourselves up. Hey, Danny, that we are being mean to ourselves. See, what happens is that we think that it is happening to us. We think that if our situation changes, then these crazy thoughts inside of our head are going to stop. Yeah and no. See, we need to be aware. Hey, everyone who's joining, if you understand anything, you have any questions as we go along, please put them in the comments, and I'm always looking at them, even on the replay. So it's true, when our situation changes, we may see things through different eyes, but we really got to acknowledge that these thoughts in our head are something that we can slow down and we actually have some control over. They're not happening to us. We have the ability to slow it down and begin to acknowledge, whoa, what did I just say? Like right now, I'm like, oh my gosh, am I like in the middle? Like, what's happening here? I'm just acknowledging like that little thing in my head. I'm like, what's happening? What's going on up there? Like all these little things, like I can slow down this moment and be like, it's okay, doesn't matter. And you can slow down the moment too. I'm like, wow, I can't believe I just said that to myself. I can't believe that I would say that thought to myself or even believe it. So we have to slow it down to acknowledge I'm thinking mean things to myself all the time. Wow, I look in the mirror and I immediately say something negative. You actually have control over stopping that. It isn't happening because of what you're seeing in the mirror. It's happening because you've created a pattern that every time you look in the mirror, you're saying something negative about yourself. Every time you go to eat your food, you're being like, I'm probably going to totally mess this up. I know I'm going to eat too much, or, oh, I never work out enough. Oh, no matter what happens, my brother always is better than me. Like all these things we have programmed in our brain. We can slow down and ask, is that true? Is it true? Is it serving me? Is it even my thought? Some of these thoughts are beliefs that we picked up from family members talking crap about themselves that we thought that we were supposed to have, right? All these things, like, we can slow down and decide. And when we do have a thought that feels like, oh God, that one feels so real, that is so painful, and oh my God, that is like, I actually do believe that. I believe that that I'm never doing anything right. That no matter what I do, um, I'm never actually going to get the body, get the life that I want. And you see there's a difference here, like even in just what I'm saying to you, like there's a difference between having the thought and running the loop, and having that thought pattern just go, 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 and really slowing down and being like, that's a belief. That is my truth. And I need to be with that. I need to look at what that pattern is and that thought and see if I can, A, give myself some support on that, maybe ask someone to listen to these thoughts, to this sadness, to this fear that I'm having around it. Is this serving me? Do I really need to believe this? And really looking, I love Byron Katie, The Work. If you don't know her, she's fantastic. I'll put a link to her work, which is called The Work. And really, she slows it down a lot and has you question your beliefs. Is it true? Can you 100% believe that it's true? And then to find the opposite of what you're saying. So if my belief is no matter what I do, I always mess it up, or no matter what I do, I still end up in the same place, I can then go in and change that thought and say everything that I do turns out. And then I find the evidence of the opposite in my life, and it begins to shift things in our head, right? Hello, everyone who's joining. So please, if you're understanding anything I'm saying as we go along, please give me some likes, give me some hearts, let me know that you're here, because I want to support you. Ask some questions if you want. So the next thing that we can do in order to begin this negative self-talk is to not let anything that we're saying inside of our head out of our mouth. And that can be a really tricky one to do, because, you know, when it comes to our bodies, women get together, they talk crap about themselves. It's almost this like bonding thing to be mean to themselves. I mean, it's so bloody ridiculous. I was just reading something. This 15-year-old was talking to her mom and said, you know, Mom, it's like what we do. Like, I have to talk negative about myself because it's a way I connect with my friends. If I don't, then I'm really not belonging. And oh my God, oh my God, like, please, can we have it be the norm that we actually say nice things to ourselves, right? And the process we're talking about right now will help us to do that. So when we stop speaking negative about ourselves, we're actually stopping, and we're stopping the perpetuation of this in our society. When we're with friends and we're quiet and friends are talking about themselves, when we step back, we're not putting any more energy into that, right? We're slowing, we're taking ourselves out of it, and it's so important to do, and it feels so uncomfortable. I had a friend of mine, it's all we did. We like to talk about like how we ate too much and our bellies and this and that. And then once I started to heal, I realized this is so boring to sit around and talk about my body and what I ate and how I don't like what I look like. After a while, it's just boring. And so that was a big thing for my friend and I. I'm like, you know, I really don't want to talk about this anymore. Like, it's not making you feel any better. It's not making me feel any better. And it took us a while to find another place where we met, but our relationship doesn't have that anymore. In fact, our relationship has more of the reality, like, I actually am feeling a little uncomfortable in my body, and I actually like to talk about it from a real place, but not from that superficial, like, oh my gosh, I ate too much and my body looks so bad. Like, can you tell me that I look so good? Right? Like, that's different. And I know you probably know what I mean. And if you do, let me know, because I want you to let me know that you understand that, because it's a big one, right? So another thing that we can do to stop this negative self-talk is to get out of our head. And this is a big one. Get out of your head and get into your body. So what I mean by that is, if you're in the loop, you're in the loop, you're in the loop, then get out of there. It is not, your mind is not a safe place. Move your body, shake it up, shake it up. I'm a big believer in moving the body. We have so much stuff that gets stuck, right? We have so many, our belief system, our beliefs, our angst, our stress, and sometimes just the stress of the day can get stuck and make us start thinking negative things about ourselves. If that's your pattern to do that anyways, stress comes in and then it just kicks in this negative self-talk. So if we can slow down, breathe, get up, shake it out, go for a run, I just got lightheaded. Got a little lightheaded, which is great because it's shifting those thoughts in my head, right? When we get out of there, we can get into our body and really reset ourselves. But it's important when we're resetting ourselves is to come back to ourselves with the idea of, yeah, let's look at life a little bit different. And the next one, as far as getting out of your head and getting into your body, is this one. I did a quick tips video, I think last week or a few days ago. And it was, when you're feeling crap about yourself, is to be of service. So if you're in the loop and you're not feeling good about yourself, then go do something nice for someone else. Just go do something kind for someone else, because that gets us out of this place where it's all about us. When I think about like the smallness of my life, the smallness of my days, of when I was in the insanity of body obsession and food obsession, is that my life got really small. It was just me and my insanity. And we don't have to live that way. When we break that bubble and we start looking around and notice who needs us and who we can serve, we can really break that open, and we begin to notice that we're so much more than what we think we're supposed to either look like, or that our life is supposed to be. Or my birthday's coming up, so it's like, really, I'm going to be this age and this is what certain parts of my life look like, right? It's like that, oh my gosh, but that doesn't really serve me. Like, how is that helping me? That just puts me into shame, and it doesn't really make me want to create positive actions. It kind of slows down the process. Okay, so to recap, we are being of service, we are slowing down, we're looking at our thoughts, and really knowing that we have control of them. We are questioning them. We are dropping in. We're feeling where those beliefs are showing up as feelings, that we can actually give ourselves some more love, maybe even reach out for some support around that. We are, what else did I say? We are getting out of our head and getting into our body. And there's so many more little tricks and tips. And really, this is about us getting out of the pain and getting into more pleasure. So if you've been following me, you know that I'm really in the midst of sharing about my pleasure plan, which is an 8-week online program that starts in a couple of weeks. And I'm so I'm so committed to helping men, but specifically in this program, women, to find practical ways for them to bring more pleasure into their lives. And this self-talk is, I feel, really the most important for us to really master this. And it's really a practice, right? It's a daily practice that we have to do. So how can we bring more pleasure into our life with self-talk, self-care, our food, our body, our sexuality, our sensuality, so that we can really be living a life where we're thriving, and our life is a lot bigger than what we think, what all that negativity is that we're putting on top of ourselves, right? We can break free of that and be able to see life. One of the things I love about Reiki, it lets me see life through a different lens, right? So for anyone who's watching this and you're here to the end, I am giving 5 free 30-minute sessions with me. So if you need support on this and you want to go a little deeper, first 5 people who private message me, we're going to set up some time to talk, okay? First 5 people who want to dive into your relationship with your body, we're going to set up a 30-minute call and see where you are and see how I can support you in some laser coaching to get you to a better place, okay? I'm going to put the pleasureplan.org in here so you can check that out. If you have any questions about that, please ask me. If you're feeling like you need some more support around that, let's do it. I mean, what are we waiting for? This is our lives. I know I spent way too much time in obsession and beating myself up, and it's like, when is it time? And I think it's now. Okay, I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you again soon. Bye. Please share this. That'd be awesome.